they think they are doing with women in their workplace is actually harassment.
Yeah.
You know, but it is. And the problem is that it's not every time that a woman can ably respond to harassment.
Yeah. Remember last month, just last month, UPSA law school, UPSA law series touched on sexual harassment, and there was an editorial note that we read, just when we started the series, that there's no general law on sexual harassment in Ghana, as the offense is defined within the context of employment, where, however, an employer, superior or co-employee knows that a sexually natured approach is not welcomed but proceeds or persists with same, that will be deemed sexual harassment under the Labor Act. And I remember sharing the experience of someone who had experienced harassment and had gone to the HR to complain, and this HR just looks at her and says, "Oh, but it's true, your body is fine, pal."
Oh my
yeah.
God.
And so, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we can only progress when we hear other people's experiences and how they've dealt with it. And I think even coming into this conversation, there are a lot of ladies who are not willing to, because it's either reminded them of the pain, or some are still living with it. They're going through it every day. You know, it's not easy to get a job. So if you find one, you want to maintain it. And if this is something that you have to deal with to maintain the job, then listen, you have to find a way out of it. If you can't just walk out.
You should never be in such a situation. That's the truth. So today, you see, the reason why we want you to hear all these stories and hear people's ways of dealing with them is because, look, one, you may not realize that what is happening to you is harassment. Okay, you may not realize that. Two, you may not realize that what you are doing to your work colleague is harassment. You need to realize so you can stop. If you don't, how will you stop, right? So that's what we're going to do, to make sure that there is no excuse. Nobody can stand anywhere and say, I didn't know, right? Okay. And also you need to understand the effect of it. When you do this to people, what you're actually doing to them, what the effect it has on them, okay? So that's the purpose of this. Now, we went out on the streets and asked a few people how they deal with sexual harassment. Let's listen to this.
Sexual harassment is something that most women face all the time at the workplace or in our institutions. But as a woman, you have to stand on your grounds. You would have to know how to talk to them. The person may be your senior in the office or even the owner of the work. But you would have to politely let the person understand that you are there for your job and nothing else. You should be able to refuse such harassment in a polite way. Sometimes it is a senior colleague at work. You would have to involve your directors or someone who is higher than him in the office to be able to talk to him, to let him understand that you're not interested in what he is doing.
Dealing with the issue of sexual harassment at work is sometimes delicate, sometimes straightforward. If it is a superior that you may not want to disturb, basically because there are so many contingencies involved, you would have a much harder time telling the right people about it. If it is a colleague, then it becomes way, way easier. It's simple and straightforward. But sometimes you don't want to feel as if you are going to be alienated amongst your colleagues. You do not want to create or stimulate a hostile work environment. In a situation where you may be the only woman amongst many men, it becomes slightly harder.
I had a contract with this company for 6 months, and my boss at the time would come to my desk to teach me something on the desktop or ask me to do something on desktop for him. And then he would come from my behind and intentionally rub his hand on my breast just to get the mouse. Then first time I was like, oh, maybe he didn't mean to do it. Maybe it wasn't intentional. So I just pushed aside and we moved on. Then another time again, this time he came around, brushed his hand to get the mouth and pressed my breast. Like, he actually wanted me to see that he's doing it. This time it's not like he's unintentionally doing it, but he wanted me to see him do it. He did it and I wasn't taking it. So I told him I didn't like that. He told me, oh, you don't like hot. When I did it the first time, you didn't say it. And I was like, oh, so the first time you actually intended doing it. And he said, yes. Can't you see I like you? I told him I didn't like him. Then he went on with it. So I actually had to warn him that I would report to the HR. He didn't budge to it because he told me that the HR wouldn't do anything because what is the evidence that he's harassing me?
Well, I've encountered a few. One was with my CEO, same company CEO, and the manager. They all made it show as if they were interested in me, but at the long round, it's always about the sex that they want. With the CEO, I was lucky he was the type that he used to really stay at the company all the time.
How did I deal with it? For some of us, we can be upfront, assertive about it, and make you know that we are not interested. But I know of someone that had to change a job or flee.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? What a life. What a life. Okay, all right. Listen, we're going to get into this. We're going to hear from you. We're going to open the phone lines. We're going to talk about this. It's sensitive, but look, it's got to be done. We've all got to learn from this. But first, do you want the respect, acknowledgement, and opportunities that come with being ranked among Ghana's top businesses? And here's some news for you. The prestigious Ghana Club 100 is back again, and it's currently open for entries. So from the 14th of October 2022 at the awards night, 100 outstanding companies in multiple sectors will be ranked based on their size, growth, and profitability. To be eligible for these coveted awards, an entrant must be a limited liability firm. Alternatively, companies with government interests should have less than 50% government ownership unless the company is listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. All entrants must have a cumulative operating profit for the most recent 3-year period, 2019, 2020, and 2021. Businesses that wish to be considered for these awards are requested to fill in an application form online or read details on how to physically submit their applications on GIPC's official website, which is gipc.gov.gh/blog. The deadline for submission is 23rd of September 2022. If you want to know more, this event sponsorship and advertising information can be attained by calling Charles Opoku Mensah or Ifwatechi Mills on 0244 877 583 or 0544 332 086. Send an email to charles.mensah@gipc.gov.gh or ifwa.techi-mills@gipc.gov.gh.
And Kojo at Kwabena Ben on Twitter says, men go through this a lot in the office, but we don't really pay attention. We'll love to hear your experiences as men as well.
Absolutely.
Listen, getting cash on the go from an Absa ATM is now so easy, even when you do not have your contactless Absa credit card with you. For the first time in Ghana, you can withdraw money from any Absa ATM with the Absa mobile banking app using a QR code. It is easy, safe, and convenient. Simply open your Absa mobile app, select ATM QR cash to scan the QR code on the ATM screen, follow the prompts, and get your cash out. That's another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity, and that's Absa. Download the Absa mobile banking app now to get started, or visit the nearest Absa branch to sign up.
All right, so the Ghana Black Stars are preparing for Qatar 2022.
Oh, say Black Stars.
That's right, we are going to fire Brazil. And DSTV is your trusted home for the friendly games leading up to the World Cup. With 3 warm-up games left before the Black Stars go to the World Cup, DSTV is proud to telecast the much-anticipated friendly between the Black Stars of Ghana and the Samba Boys of Brazil. The game is on live and in HD today at 6:30 p.m. Get your front row seat at the greatest stadium on DSTV. We're going to see Vinicius Jr. doing his famous dance moves, or will we see a debut goal from Inaki Williams? Join in to also see if Tariq Lamptey makes his debut. Stay connected for just 50 Ghana cedis using *759#. Catch all 64 World Cup games live and in HD only on DSTV. DSTV, it's your moment.
Now, do you care about your engine? Obviously, yes. Well, whatever you drive, whatever the conditions, we have the right motor oil for your vehicle. At the heart of every performing and long-lasting engine, there's a Shell motor oil formulated with the most exclusive cutting-edge gas-to-liquid technology that transforms gas into a pure oil. Shell motor oils keep your engine clean, stronger, smoother, and gives you a longer oil change interval. Shell motor oils are also endorsed by the very prestigious car manufacturers such as BMW, Hyundai, and your car. Having challenges choosing the right motor oil for your car? Well, talk to our experts at our Shell stations. Our oil specialists and lube bay mechanics are trained to understand your car and guide you on the right way of maintenance. So visit any Shell stations and choose from our complete range of products and enjoy the benefit of additional checks on your vehicle for free. Shell lubricants designed for ultimate engine performance.
Yeah. All right then. So look, we obviously want to hear from everyone. You know the numbers: 0302 216 541, 055 1111 997. So for the ladies, we'd love to know, how do you cope with sexual harassment, especially if it's coming from a boss or someone with authority over you? How do you deal with it? Do you stand up to them? Do you play along, or do you report them? Okay, how do you do it? And how regular is it? Is it a daily occurrence, or is it quite rare? And guys, do you even know when when what you're doing is harassment? Do you know? Is it every woman who laughs and smiles at your jokes who's enjoying them? And is it only touching someone inappropriately that's harassment? Do you know that some of the things you say are harassment? Do you know which things? Do you know the rules? Do you know how to avoid harassing your colleagues? I want to know if there is any difficulty, ambiguity, confusion, unclarity. Please, let's bring it out. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out together.
Yeah.
Mamavi?
I think that sometimes men know that what they're doing is making you uncomfortable. They just want you to say it, or they want you to take a certain action. So they're doing it knowing that, I'm the boss, right? So it won't be easy for her to say whatever she wants to say, So deliberately, see, the lady shared the story about the boss pretending to be picking the mouse. And she thought the first time that, okay, he didn't really mean it. I can imagine making that assumption myself, and I guess a lot of women will, because you want to be sure his intentions before you make a move. And once she did say that, I don't like this. See, he said, but when I did it the first time, you didn't say anything, which means that he knew what he was doing the first time. Yeah.
But in that instance, does it not sound like he likes her? He's hoping that she feels the same, and this is how he wants to find out.
How do you like me by doing that?
That is why this conversation is important, because people need to understand that certain things are just unacceptable, right? So 0302 216 541, 055 1111 997. Okay, let's talk about this, especially if you're a lady. I want to know, how do you deal with it? Okay, if someone came to you and said, look, this guy at work is always making inappropriate comments. He's always talking about, how I'm looking juicy, or how, whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable. And they come to you and say, look, how do I deal with it? This person is my boss, or this person is a superior at work. This person has authority over me at work. How do I deal with it? Of course, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to jeopardize my career. How do I deal with it? Right? What advice would you give them? What have you had to do in the past under such circumstances? Because I'm starting to realize that almost every woman has experienced this at some point or the other.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the closest that I came to, and I had to figure that out after a while. So I kept receiving these messages that I obviously didn't want, but I was trying to figure it out. Like, is he intentionally doing this? I mean, what is he looking for? And I said to myself, okay, but he hasn't really said anything, right? But he's just sending me these things that, so I decided, okay, ignore it. And that's what I did. But I think in my case, he got the message.
Right.
It turned out to be, so he started not liking me, like, publicly. I mean, he just hated me suddenly. That was what made me think again, go back, okay, what did I do to piss him off? And I remember that, okay, I guess maybe it was because he was sending me messages and I wasn't responding.
So that there was a consequence, if you like. So this person then it became hostile towards you.
Yeah.
Right? So there was a consequence. Okay. And of course you connected the dots and figured out that it must be because you ignored. But
I'm saying it lightly, but that consequence was huge.
Wow.
I just ignored it, but it was huge. It meant a lot to me. Yeah. So you when you decide to react, you will certainly lose something.
But you see, what is fascinating for me is that in this case, you chose to, if you like, not react. You chose to ignore, to do nothing, to take no action.
Yeah.
But even taking no action is an action.
Yes, it resulted
and there was
in
a consequence, a serious one from
Yeah.
what you're saying. So it's almost like you don't have the option of doing nothing. So what is the best something to do?
Listen, I've had friends who've had to, like, walk away, but that's not an easy decision to take.
Can you imagine?
Walk
Like,
away
you're
from the
qualified
job.
for a job.
Yeah.
You are being paid for your skill, your ability. But you have to walk away from it because some person thinks that they have rights to you, or they have rights to your body or your personal space.
Yeah. It's a really tricky one. Okay,
And
so
you were married at the time, I'm assuming.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, these days, I'm not sure it really matters whether you're single or you're married. Whatever it is, sexual harassment, whatever, it comes to all of us once you're a woman.
The thing that interests me is the things that men do that they don't think are harassment, but they are. I wonder if we can give some examples of those. I talked earlier about those comments, like, you're looking juicy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I can imagine. Please give us a call. Unless we're okay. I
We have
the
some
calls are coming
messages
through.
also on
We have some messages?
on Twitter that we will share. Yes, go ahead.
Fantastic.
But you land.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that there are men who are thinking, oh, but I was just paying her a compliment. Men genuinely believe that, look, a compliment is a gentlemanly thing to do.
Right.
Okay. But so they don't quite see how that can be harassment. The truth is, it is the situation that determines what is acceptable and what is not. You are at work. That is your work colleague. So absolutely, you need to understand that there are rules. And in a workplace, if you don't know where the line is, don't even attempt.
Yeah.
It's not by force. You don't have to pay. The person doesn't require your compliments. So if you are not sure, don't even try. Kofi is in Kumasi. Hi, Kofi. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, handsome Kojo. How are you?
Handsome Kofi. I'm fine, thank you.
You see, Kojo,
Yes, sir.
when you are in love with a woman, the love or the lust will control you. Sometimes, where you are expressing that lust or that love, It's in public, but because you are consumed by the lust, you don't think of whatever is happening. Now, these women, like the woman in the studio said, he hasn't proposed. There are so many ways of killing a cat. The man will not come openly to say, I love you, I want to do this, I want that. This is the way he will go. So if you are a married woman, you have to master courage and tell the person, look, I am a married woman, so I know what your intentions are. But please, I am a married woman. It will not work. You will put that person to shame. Even if you are not married, you can tell the person, I have a boyfriend, so I can't do what you want to do. So please. And the man will be ashamed. But what we see normally is that the woman will say, oh, he has not proposed. He has not proposed, so I won't mind him. Meanwhile, the person is troubling you. So that is how it is. Thank you, Kojo.
Oh, thank you, Kofi, for sharing your thoughts. I wonder if you agree with Kofi. What about consequences, once you speak up, like Kofi is advising, what about the consequences if this is your boss? Let's stay in Kumasi and talk to Gina. Hi, Gina.
Sorry, the name is Tina, not Gina.
Tina, right?
Yes, please.
Forgive us. Good to have you on the show, Tina. Tell us what your advice is for handling harassment, especially from a superior.
Okay, personally, I wanted to share my experience before. I'm not working in an office, okay? I do my own business. I'm into selling.
Okay.
And then I sell at a station. I sell water and drinks. And then there is a driver that always wants to harass me. So I called him and then I spoke to him that I don't like that. He went around telling everybody. So eventually they all stopped buying from me, telling me that I was like, I didn't say anything. I have to just lock the shop and then come back to the house. And currently, I'm not doing anything because anytime I go, they've all decided not to buy from me because I advised the man that I don't like what he's doing to me.
Oh, wow. You lost your business because of this?
Yes.
That's unbelievable. Gina, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm so sorry about this. I hope you will explore the possibility of starting your business at a different location.
Yes, that's what I'm planning to
do. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine?
That's sad.
Thank you for calling us, Gina. Let's go to Jolo, talk to Kojo. Hi, Kojo.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
Yeah. This morning, I'm very interested in the in the topic you are discussing. Yes, but it's something that sexual harassment in the office is something that both men and women go through, and I, for one, has recently gone through an ordeal like that.
What happened?
Yes. So I was employed into this organization, which is supposed to be a Christian organization to say. Yes. And not less than the HR was the one perpetrating the thing. I was given a self-office, and each morning the HR comes in. Initially, when it started, I thought it was just a normal friendship. But she comes in, asks for a hug, and it went on severally. At some point, I realized that this it was getting out of hand. One point, she even kissed me in York. I was like, what is this? So eventually, I had to withdraw from her. And withdrawing from her brought a lot of problems to me. Eventually, I had to leave.
Wow.
So it is something that both men and women are facing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when it does happen to the man, it looks as if, as for men, we enjoy these things. But men are always not like that. Men would want a relationship they can substantiate, not be seen as okay. Every man enjoys something sexual. No.
True.
So I feel that discussion should be had holistically, but not biased towards women and against men.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. The truth is that reality is biased towards women over men. It happens far more to women than it does to men, but it also does happen to men. So they cannot be excluded from such a conversation. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Okay, let's go to Tema. Hi, Kobe. Good morning. Oh, I think we've lost Kobe. But you know the number. Call us 0302 216 541 055 1111 997. Someone messaged me and asked me, how about people sending you unwanted messages like what you described? Okay, or people sliding into your DMs on social media, because social media kind of connects everyone, so people feel like they have the access to you and can just message you or say whatever or send you whatever. Is that also harassment? Well, listen, any unwelcome attention,
That's it.
any unwelcome attention, however or wherever, is harassment. Dick is in Kojo. Hi, Dick. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. Please, how are you?
It's been a long time since we had Dick. It's good to have you back. How are you?
Yes, sure. I'm fine.
Excellent. Fine. So, what's on your mind?
Please, with this topic, sometimes I would say the ladies, sometimes some of them don't know what they want. The reason I'm saying this is that there was this incident some years back, way back. There was this lady that was very close to. People thought we were even dating. So this lady visited me, one thing led to another. Then something nearly happened. So she started begging me, please don't do it, please don't do it. So I just told her, please, don't beg me. I can't force myself on you. If you don't want it, I also don't want it. Let's all walk away. We walked away. Now, this saw me later on with one elderly man in public. So she called me and the elderly man asked her, I see your boyfriend. Then this lady said, no, he's not my boyfriend. This guy, I want to take him to a room. He can't even do anything. I was like, really? In fact, it really hurt me, that comment from her. Because you were like, you don't want it. I told her, okay, if you don't want it, I'm also okay. So why in public should you make such statements about me?
Dick, trust me, you did the right thing. Somebody who is not being straightforward with you, you definitely don't want to engage such a person in anything that could create problems later. You did the right thing. I think she proved it to you by how she behaved in front of this elderly person. So don't regret any of that. Let's go to Sunyani and talk to Johnson. Hi, Johnson. Good morning. Okay, we've lost Johnson. But you can call us 0302 216 541 055 1111 997. Like if someone can't be clear, you really need to stay well clear.
Yeah. Kojo, here's another experience from a man, right? He says, a lady friend of mine in church talks about my chest all the time. At one point in time, she literally touched my nipples. Everybody looked on, both males and females, and I felt so uncomfortable, even as a married man. Sexual harassment comes in different forms, and it is worth having this discussion.
All right. Thank you for that. Kweku is in Kaswa. Hi, Kweku.
Yeah, hello, good morning, Bro Kongfu.
Good morning to you, Kweku. What's up? What's on your mind?
Yeah, there's a lot in my mind. I've been asking myself, where are the men who have been harassing the women? Most people will call and they will say the other side. Meanwhile, they are the people who have been indulging in those acts. I once found myself in that. I indulged in that act, and later I was ashamed of myself when the lady pushed me off with her strong words. And I advised myself, I was so ashamed, not to her, but other female workers at the workplace. I'm a kind of person who like to say good words to ladies, but since that thing happened, I stopped doing those things.
Do you remember what you said? That might be a way of educating others. Do you remember what you said that caused offense?
It wasn't once. I think it was the third time that hit me. He asked me that if I were to be a lady, and that is being done to me, would I be okay? And those words hit me. But for the first time, it was, oh, stop it, I don't like that, I don't like that. But that word hit me. If that is being done to me.
What were you doing to her?
Oh, actually, I'll just tell her she's looking good, and I'll be touching her butt.
Ah, right. Okay. But you thought she was okay with it?
Initially, I thought she was okay. Stop it. You tell a guy, stop it, I don't like that, stop it, I don't like that. Guys will take it like you like it, but you want to do one or two things.
Right.
But if you send a strong words out.
I see. So after that, how was your relationship with her?
Oh, actually, I became ashamed of myself. When I see her, I can't even look into her eyes.
Wow.
But she always tried to greet me. She will greet me.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm sorry you had an embarrassing moment, but I suppose it taught you something which you are now using in your interactions with ladies, right?
Yes, ladies. Yeah.
Oh,
a huge lesson.
Then something good came of it.
But I like you, Kweko. You are such a gentleman. I mean, you took the lesson and you're even sharing it. And to say that I was ashamed. I mean, to have a man come to that realization. Yeah. So thank you for sharing.
Indeed, thank you very much. I think the ones that we're concerned about are those who will retaliate. Those who will take it personally, they will be ashamed, but their ego will make them lash out, in response to, a woman speaking up about them being harassed. They're the ones who really, really need to be aware of this and understand that it is not fair for you to put a woman in an uncomfortable situation. She points it out and then becomes a victim because of it. That is not fair. That's like being harassed twice.
Yeah. Kojo, we also have to talk about, because even in discussing it around somebody, you say, oh, but you tolerate it from this guy. You do it. I see this guy do it with you. Why can't I? We have to talk about that other side as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. When we come back from these messages, whether sometimes we read body language between two other people and think that it applies to us too, right? When we come back.